So hello everyone, Scott Jansen here. Welcome to this Therapy Maximiser student interview. Today we've got a really cool student with us today. We've got Greg Riley, who's decided to jump on board and let me pick his brain about the success he's having with the Therapy Maximiser program. Now Greg's got a really cool story which I'm really looking forward to picking his brain about and getting into a bit more depth about what he's doing and how his business is tracking. But I know a lot of you have been asking me to get him on the call, so that's what we're here today to do, to find out how Greg's doing, what he's enjoying about the program, and also finding out how he's skyrocketing his business within, 3 to 4 weeks. So, Greg, welcome aboard, man. Thank you for jumping on.
G'day, Scott. Yeah, awesome.
Excellent. All right. So, look, Greg, probably the best place for us to start is let's start from the beginning. Run me back. Let's say when you first started or even thought about becoming a hypnotherapist. Why did you decide to go down that road?
Yeah, because I was doing a lot of my other business, or my original business. I do intuitive psychic readings, mediumship, and stuff like that, right? So, and I was seeing people and they were coming to me and they look. I knew that I was giving them one part of the puzzle.
Sure.
Right? So they come and they go, okay, well, I've gone through a relationship and it's fallen apart and I need to go somewhere else. But then they had no tool set to go any further because they had belief issues, they had pattern issues, they caught their ex-boyfriend cheating on them. So every time they go into a new relationship, they have trust issues. It was just, I was giving them just a small part of what they needed. So, and I always thought that going to the deeper levels of people's belief systems and how they pattern and what's holding them back was where I needed to be. So I thought about adding that, I suppose, bit of extra repertoire to my armory could help my clients actually just to change their lives, because I'm more about changing lives rather than just giving a bit of a fortune telling kind of stuff. I want people to actually have transformation. So that's why I did that originally, because I thought that where I was seeing most of the issues was in the mindset. So
right. And how long ago was this when you started to actually bring in clients for this?
2011.
Okay,
yeah.
2011. Okay, so we're 2018 now. Okay, so tell me back then, what type of clients were you seeing? What were the biggest issues that clients were presenting to you?
Mostly relationships. So a lot of females. Most of my clientele were females.
Okay.
And we're around relationships and self-belief, weight issues. Let's say if someone had been single for a long time, they couldn't understand why they were single. If I saw blokes, it was mostly about job, about wanting new careers and stuff like that. So there were certain demographics to certain things. So it depended on, and again, if they were in the 20s to 30s, there will be a certain reason they'll be coming. If they're in their 50s, it's because they've gone through their life and having midlife crisis. So age groups had different wants, but it did vary a bit. So yeah.
Okay. And based on what you were doing back then, what made you decide, I'm going to do the hypnotherapy thing, and how did that come together with your current ways of doing things? How did hypnotherapy help?
It just gave the ability to tackle that mindset part. So I can see someone from initial consultation and then go, okay, by the way, to help you move through these issues, let's work on your headspace. Let's work on releasing past traumas. Let's work on timeline theory. Let's work on parts therapy. Let's go into what's really stopping you from actually achieving what you need to do in your life. So that was why it's actually a really good add-on to what I do. So yeah it worked well. But
sure.
Yeah.
Sure, makes sense. So you're now seeing clients, you're doing the intuitive side of things, you're doing the hypnotherapy side of things. How was the business tracking? Run me through that. What was happening with the business side of things?
Yeah, so this is where I'll be completely honest, completely open, completely vulnerable with this.
Yeah, right.
I gave it away for 3 years. I burnt out.
Right.
Really burnt. I was seeing 15 clients a week, sometimes 20.
Okay.
And I hit the wall.
Okay.
I stopped.
Okay. So what happened? Just too many clients, too much? Was it the stress of the session? Was it helping people too much? What was it exactly?
So it probably goes back a bit further to I'll tell you the story is that before I started doing this, I worked in banking most of my life, and I'm like a really good wicket, like 350K a year.
Yeah.
Even though it's highly stressful, it's it is what it is, right? And I found that going back into doing sessions like that, I was struggling. You know, when you gave up, I gave up, you know, 6/8 of what I used to earn. And I've always made a promise to myself. I said, if what I'm doing becomes about money, then I'll walk away, and I stop. And it became because it was that mindset that was, you can't charge more than $150. You can't be spiritual. You can't help people and charge $350. There was a massive issue with that, and I was seeing a lot of clients trying to make ends meet, and it broke me. It seriously did. And that's why I went back into the corporate arena, because it was easy.
Okay, sure. And when you went back to seeing clients after burning out and doing all that stuff, tell me about the issues with the money, because it's a big thing. I hear this all the time. I speak to so many therapists and great people who love healing people and are great at what they do, but they struggle with Scott, I can only charge $50. I can only charge $100. If I go outside of that, I'm not being noble to the cause. I'm going against what the industry says. Yeah, tell me about that side with you. What was happening with that?
It still goes on. Just recently been removed from a group because I upped my prices.
Right.
They kicked me out.
Right.
So you lose friends over it. You lose colleagues. It's hard because you're treated as a cowboy. You're treated as someone who's not genuine. You're treated as someone who's only after the money. There's this whole stigma around the thing is that you've got a gift, and you should be. Hypnotherapy is a gift. Not everyone. Everyone can do it, but the good ones are actually dime a dozen. So there's this whole mentality around you can't charge for what you do. Yet if I go and get my car fixed, it's going to cost me $1,000. If just got some plastering done in the house, that's $400, right? Yeah. It was an hour job.
Yes.
Right? But as a person, I can transform lives, but I can't charge more than $100. So I get a bit passionate about this, mate. Sorry, but
no, please do open up about it. It's a big issue.
Angry about it is because for so long, and that's part of the reason why I burnt out, because I was only charging so much amount of money, and people weren't seeing the fact that you give away a job that pays a buckload of money to go and do what you dream about doing, and then you get ridiculed for charging so much money. There's so much poverty mentality in this industry and across the board, the psychic stuff, the intuitive stuff, I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Why do you think there's so many good therapists out there who struggle with it, struggle to actually put a good money value on the fact that they're healing people, they're changing people's lives? Why do you think there's such an issue with that?
I don't know, because it's funny because in the corporate world I charge ridiculous amounts of money. I don't do the same amount of work. I don't provide people's lives. I don't make their life any better.
Yes.
But then I try and charge the same amount of money in this industry, and you get shot down as for I don't know what it is. I think it's people who are afraid of success. I think people are afraid to actually say, look, I'm successful and I get paid a lot of money, because I think they have this thing about being successful and money being evil. Money is an output of what you do. And this is part of what your course gave me a kick up the bum.
Yes.
Is that it's results. If you're getting results, get paid for it.
Yeah, I agree. So let's shuffle forward a bit. We can come back to this topic because I think it's important. So where did you find out about the course that I was teaching? Where did you find out about that?
I had been, let's say, a little bit jaded by a couple of events that had happened, and I was looking for, there was a couple of instances, the thing that happened where I lost a bit of faith in a couple of people around that me wanting to do, because I told some people in confidence what I was going to do about where I was taking my coaching and my mentoring and that, and some of the prices I was going to charge and some of the things. I'm doing some online course stuff and all that. And they really had a real go at me. Like they were really, and these guys that they had mentored me over the last 15 years. I looked up to them, and they really took me to town.
Right.
And to the point where I thought, well, where's this coming from? So I started to look outside that little bubble that I'd had.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been looking at some, some other hypnotherapy stuff, because I thought, well, was I doing what I was doing actually right? Was my mentoring what I was doing was actually that part of it right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there other ways to do some of this stuff? And then it just, I just basically threw it out to the universe. I said, I need help here. And then you popped up on Facebook, and I thought, well, I'll have a look at this. And there was just something, inside my gut that just said, look, have a look at this, try this out. And everything that sort of, it just started to really, let's say, fit intuitively in my gut. There's something to do with this. This is really something that's on. And it's I think it's more about the next evolution of stuff where I'm looking to, better ways to do stuff, and where I was sort of going, where I wanted to do it just came. I trust implicitly, if I put myself in the right position and I put my mindset to it, something will show up, and that's what I did. And you just popped up on Facebook, and I thought, well, click.
Let's give this a go.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. So we first, like anyone enrolling, I always like to get them on the phone to make sure that they're in the right place, they're the right fit for this program. What were you thinking while we were having that chat? Because obviously I talked to you about the prices you should be charging based on where you were, and breaking what I call that industry delusion that a lot of therapists get caught in, where they think it's one way to do it, one price, one procedure, and they get caught in that. What was it like to hear the other side of that when we were chatting on the phone before you began the program?
It's funny because I was in the pain point. So I was in pain. So you could have said $5,000 and I would have taken it. That's what I said. Right. I was in that pain point because I know that I worked for that period where I was charging that small amount, and I know what happens. It has to change, because if I want to do this full time and support my family and, pay my mortgage and, go on holiday and be able to do conferences and other learning, that something had to change. So I needed to find somebody who fitted my mindset and was able to coach me in a way that and it wasn't, it was sort of also just to have a chat with you and go, this guy gets it. This guy really gets what I'm talking about. And I think that's where I found an instant rapport straight away to go, he actually understands my pain. That's what I actually got from the call was, exactly where I'm at, and you've been there.
Exactly right. I have been there, and I hear countless therapists telling me the same thing, and it's such a shame. It is such a shame that most therapists get caught in that. So
I've lost friends. The last 3 or 4 weeks, I have lost friends.
Wow.
I'm going to you.
Yep.
And these are long-standing relationships. Yeah.
Look, I'm always under the understanding, like, in order to become something bigger, there's got to be some sacrifice.
And then people have, they have a mindset that that's what you charge.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was the same thing for us when I opened up a training academy and said, look, I'm not going to teach scripts. I'm not going to teach NLP. And the industry scoffed me, for the first 6 months. But fast forward 6 months after that, to have a lineup of people wanting to come to the courses, the business taking off like a rocket. It's really about just doing something different. And if you go back through the literature of hypnosis, look at the best of the best, the Igors, the Ericksons, the Bandlers, they've always gone against the grain and created something better to evolutionize this industry.
Yeah. What I got upset with was they didn't even ask about what results I was getting.
Right.
They didn't care about that. They didn't ask. Not one person asked Greg, are you getting results?
Right.
They never, and that showed what it was really about. Was I think they had their own belief system about money and all that kind of stuff and success, which I didn't have to buy into anymore. Is that when I look back at it and go, geez, these guys have never once asked me about or interviewed a client of mine and said, what has Greg done for you? Yes, he may have charged you $1,000 for that session, but what did you get out of it? Yeah, he saved my marriage. Well, hey, that worked. If I paid $1,000 to save my marriage, freaking paid.
And yeah, click. I'm there.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, but they,
So,
yeah.
So what was the pain you were feeling? Was the pain of being stuck and being told you have to charge this amount? Was it the pain of just not being able to wrap your head around why people are stuck in this point as far as the therapist being able to charge? Was it solely about what therapists were charging what you were, or was there other things involved as well?
It's also because, you know, I was still still working for the bank at that stage, and still transitioning out, because I knew that if I didn't change the mindset and didn't change what I charged, I'd still be, you know, still not doing what I want to do. So everything about my being says I'm here to do this stuff and help transform people's lives. But if I don't do that, if I don't charge the right amount of money, then I can't do that. Right. Again, I was in pain because I was still working in a really crap, you know, corporate environment, which, you know, you hated going to every single day because you knew you meant to be somewhere else. So that wasn't the pain point that I wanted to be out of where I was. And you know, I couldn't see getting out of that by doing what I always had done before. So something had to change. Right. So there was no chance you actually building, you know, your life, having a family, paying the mortgage, doing all the things you have to do as a husband and a man and stuff like that, charging the $150 a session. The numbers just don't add up, do they? You can bring in 30, 40 clients a week, but it's still, you're either going to burn out before you get there, or you're going to go bankrupt. Either way, the numbers don't work. Correct. So you're only, for those who don't know, you're only, what, 4 weeks into the program? Yeah, fourth week. The fourth one just came available yesterday, I think. So. Yeah. So let's say the first 3 weeks are probably the biggest parts of the program. Firstly, how many clients have you seen since starting the program? How many have you actually brought in? 4? Yep. And for those who don't know, it's up to Greg who wants to share it or not. Greg's already hitting the high 5 figures. 3 weeks. From where you were before was probably about 6 months worth of work. Yeah. Non-stop clients. Yeah. Now, it takes a certain mindset. It takes a certain mindset in order to achieve that. It's a big flip from going, okay, I'm charging $50 or $100 now. Now I'm going to charge, you know, upwards of $3 grand, $3.5 grand per transformation, not session per hour. Yeah. So the first 3 weeks of the program, what have you found so far to be the most instrumental in the way things are going for you so far? Mindset. Yeah, mindset. Okay, in what way? I think that really the pricing point that I could charge what I wanted to charge. I had the model. You know, we talked about, my thing is helping, my model is helping men with depression to get them back in lives with it, you know, back in contact with their lives and their partners, all that kind of stuff. I knew that. That's what I've always been doing. But it was the giving myself permission to charge what I should be charging for that 30-day transformation. And the real thing was to focus on the results, not the product. You know, I'm not once over the last 4 people I've spoken to have they talked about price. It's all been about results. I can do this for you. I can provide this for you. This is what you get out of it. How much is this worth to you? Oh, gee, that's cheap. Yeah, right, done. Click. That was the big thing, is to switch the headspace from, you know, this is what I do, or this is how much it costs, to this is what you get out of it. Right. That's a big thing, yeah. Right. So now, if we think about, you know, what you were charging before, which is like we talked about just before, it's common throughout the industry, to doing the, you know, $3.5 to $4 grand per your 30-day transformation and things of that nature. Yeah. When you were charging little, did you actually have clients argue your price when you were charging less? It's strange, isn't it, man? Yeah, but then people, really strange. They're the ones who don't work as well too. They're the ones who complain the most. They're the ones who come back to you and say, "Well, it didn't work." Well, you haven't done any work. It's such a peculiar thing to think that some people can charge $100 or $150, $200 a session and have the clients that are less favorable. Yep. And, you know, the coaches from all around the world that are charging, and, you know, well worth what they're charging, you know, in the thousands of dollars, they're the ones getting the lineup of motivated, highly motivated clients. It's a strange predicament. And I think for a lot of therapists, they really struggle with that side of things. Yeah. And now I've got time to do stuff during the week. You know, I can sit there and, only do. Look, I've worked it out that between doing this and some other online stuff, that if I work 8 hours a week, I earn pretty much what I was earning back in the bank.
That's incredible.
8 hours a week. Right? Yeah. So by doing that calculation that you guys put into the thing, is that with a couple of the side things I'm doing, going from to say work less than 10 hours a week and earn this kind of money and be really happy, and I've got 2 young kids, a 3-year-old and a 15-month-old, to watch them grow up as well too. And that's part of the reason I did as well, was both our families, our fathers and our stuff worked their ass off to give us a better life, but they went around a lot. Got that repeated as well. So I want to it's giving me a lifestyle as well, which is probably the biggest thing, is that it gives you the balance that I was seeking. And if you come back to why I'm really doing this, yes, there's an outcome I can help people, but the real reality is that I want to live a life that's very much in tune with my values and what I want to do, and part of that is to bring up my kids and to be present with them and to be the father figure, and that's a massive thing. So you look at what comes from that, is that there's a very personal part to this, which is being a good dad and a good partner, and being there for my watch them Play-Doh and playing the sand and muck around and all that kind of stuff. So you look at the other aspect of what this gives you, is it gives you freedom of choice in life as well.
Sure. So for let's think about it. Like you said, you're only working 8. You could do 8 hours a week or something like that. There's, for you, in order to do that back then, when you're only charging like $100 or $150, there's no way in the world you would be able to have that lifestyle, plus charge that, plus get the level of interaction with your kids. You get the lifestyle. The numbers don't add up.
Yeah.
That's why the big part of week 1 is we give you a raw maths spreadsheet to actually work it out in your head, because in theory it's fine, but if you can't see the numbers and the hours and the work you have to do, it just becomes almost just like a theory at that. It's like a high level view.
Yeah.
So what specifically about the mindset, what shifted for you? How do you know when you made that shift? What occurred?
The results part. When you said focus on results, I went, okay. And then that day I went and upped my prices on my website straight away. And no one's complained, at all. And when I sort of did it, but I didn't really own it. When I really owned the fact that, this is what I do, and this is what you get out of it, and this is the change you get out of what I do with you, then, I gave myself permission to actually charge that. I realised I'd been hanging on to what everybody else had been saying, that I've been. So it was you did a bit of a hypnotherapy on me about releasing stuff. Went through the course about my blocks and my belief systems, and that was, once I shifted that and went, this is really worth doing this. Then that was the biggest shift, is just going, okay, own it, Greg.
Right.
Own it.
So how do you feel now, I guess, internally with your values, with all those sorts of things, charging the amount that you're charging? How do you feel about that?
I can charge more if I wanted to.
Good.
But I choose not to.
Yeah. What's that in contrast to what it was like before? What was it like before?
Oh, it was a complete misalignment, because I was, you was stressed. So you got this thing inside you about, you want to do this, but you can't, and blah, 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 blah. Now it's like, life's good.
Excellent. Glad to hear it.
You're in, you are in line with your values. You're being, you're being, giving yourself this worth and all that kind of stuff. So, so it's when you're working in alignment with who you are and what your soul's trying to do, and your whole value system, and things just come to you. Clients just walk in the door to you. Yeah. Because you sing it, you can tell, people can sense that this is who you are. So
yeah, the last thing a client wants to see is a stressed out therapist.
Yeah, because I hate to be that last person on the Friday afternoon when you've done 20.
Yeah.
I would seriously hate to be that person.
Yeah, yeah. And it really comes back to, with pricing and stuff like that, it's a real high level of commitment. And the stages where you're going with the therapist and the other students who are doing this program is I really drill into you guys to don't work with everybody. You don't need to. It's a small percentage of the market, like 3 to 5%, that are ready to pay now, that are only care about their results, and they just want it fixed.
Correct.
But a lot of therapists have that mindset of, it's all about me, the therapist. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do the NLP, the hypnosis, the healing. I'm going to do that to you. And I'm going to show you my superiority, but I'm only going to charge a little bit. And although my business is falling apart, I'm pretty much going broke, I'm going to try and save face because this client could just feed me for the week. So I'm just going to get in that scarcity mindset.
Yep.
So like I said, you're 4 weeks in, hitting the high figures. I know therapists who don't do that in a year.
Yeah.
Usually 6 months, they give up.
I was in a bit of pain. I was ready. No, I tend to, when I make a decision, I tend to pretty quickly. But I get to the point where, you know, I just do shit. So
just get it done.
I was ready for to hit the button. So
and like I said, week 4, you've still got 3 odd weeks to go, plus all the mentoring. You're brand new to this, and already, you know, hitting the ball out of the park with this.
Yeah.
So let's say for people who are wanting to grow, let's say there's going to be people out there that were like you before you started this program, and that scarcity mindset, not charging enough, stressed out, burnt out, not getting clients, business failing. What would you say to those people?
Believe it works. Yeah, I don't want to see everybody. And to have that, you know, to have that ability to pick and choose, and the balance you've got in life now is it's so much, you know, easier to do. So you're not burnt out. You can give your clients a lot more as well too. You can be more present with them. If I want to spend an extra half an hour with a client, I can. I'm not worried about, you know, where the next, you know, paycheck's coming from. But your quality of work goes through the roof too. I mean, the sessions I'm doing now compared to back in, you know, 2011, 2012 are just light years apart, because it's a different, you know, different headspace, and you're relaxed, you're comfortable, you know. And you know what? Seriously, money doesn't even come into it anymore. Money is it's not even. It goes back to the results. It's, you know, seeing the person come back, and all it takes is for someone. And you know, I had this, you know, with my first client I did, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind me sharing this, but I got a letter from their 10-year-old daughter, and she thanked me for getting her daddy back. Because his daddy come home and used to drink and used to yell at them. And there's a letter from her, from his 10-year-old daughter, to say, thank you, you know, for getting my daddy back.
Wow. And
when you hear stories like that,
you're not getting that as a banker.
No.
Yes. Yeah. So think about what you're doing. You're pretty much living the ideal scenario for why therapists get into the industry.
Correct.
Done it in 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Three and a bit.
Yeah,
started for week 4 yet. So.
Yeah. So you got stuff to come. So let's say for anyone doubting the process, let's say anyone doubting that, they say, you know what, I don't think I can grow my business. I've tried everything. You know, my course fees are through the roof. I've been to every mentor. I've done every program. I can't find the clients. It's got to be about them, not about me. What would you say to these people?
Don't give up. You know, this is again, I think that goes back to, it's a bit of a self-defeatist mindset as well too. I think they have to change their headspace to go believe in it. Maybe they don't believe in their product. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe the product's wrong. Maybe the message is incorrect. Maybe it's a bit off. But like you say in your course, if things aren't working, then maybe things aren't, the message really isn't aligned yet, because there are a lot of people out there in pain. There are a lot of people out there in looking to, you know, it's a multi-billion dollar industry.
Yes.
Right? We don't want that. I just want my, you know, 350 grand.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
More, but that's the thing. There's so much of it, and you know, me working in that corporate, there are buildings and buildings in Melbourne full of people in pain.
Right.
Buildings of people.
Right.
There's things you can do, and it's about, again, unfortunately, you have to be uncomfortable with this stuff. It's about putting stuff, owning your stuff. So putting it out on your Facebook page, doing Instagram things, doing videos, making yourself, you know, pretty much known that this is what you do. This is the results you get. You know, it's organic growth, right? You're not going to get, you know, people come in the door, you know, 100 clients all up straight away, but it will be organic growth, and then it becomes word of mouth, and they tell their friends and their friends, and you may have to give away, you know, a couple of free things here and there, but, you know, organically it can grow.
Yeah.
So just trust the process, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. So I was at 4 weeks in, hitting the high 5 figures, which blew me away as well. I was like, wow, someone actually did it this quick. This is cool. Someone's taking charge. Where do you see yourself 6 months from now?
So the funny thing was, well, when I posted the other day, I was a bit embarrassed to post it on the Facebook thing, is that I got a client from the States, and this is another thing about mindset between Australians and Americans, right? He's paying me $25,000 Australian for 30 days. They have a completely different. He goes, "You're cheap." He goes, "You are very cheap based on, you know, what you do." Right. So I would say people reach out outside of it, because, you know, I think Australia sometimes has a little bit of tall poppy syndrome sometimes as well too. So don't you can spread your wings as far as you want, but there's especially people, you know, coaches and stuff like that, and you know, we can think outside the box and go, you know, further out the square, but there's a lot of other areas and other countries that do value what we do a whole lot more than what we get paid here in Australia. A whole lot more, right? Having a coach or a mentor in America is like having a brother or sister.
Right. Like you said, they're willing to pay for results.
Correct. And they'll pay top dollar for it.
Yeah. So that essentially gets you close to about $40,000 for the first 4 weeks of the program.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So
and we said, so maybe I can. My target was to do 30 grand a month. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you saying on the phone, and you're killing it already. So you're going to take next month off, yeah?
No.
Why would you? So let's think of back then. If I said to you, let's say I met you 2 years ago, if I said, "Greg, I can show you how to make 30 grand a month," what would you have said to me?
Bullshit.
Why?
Not the right headspace. Wasn't ready.
Yeah.
It's all about just surrendering to the process. You have to surrender to it.
Yeah.
You have to be completely vulnerable, completely just open. You can't do this, can't do that. You have to just be complete. I think I was at rock bottom. That's a problem. I wasn't going anywhere backwards. I'd hit the base. So it did a complete surrender to the whole thing. This stuff, you know, it does work. And I, you know, because I've been on other areas, other sides, and, you know, not many other programs, you know, offer sort of a holistic part to it. But yeah, so for me, for 2 years ago, I probably would have just gone, I think you're full of shit.
Yeah. And you would have.
That was more about me, not about the product or anything like that.
That's the key. And I think that's the biggest reason why therapists struggle with their price points and things like that, because it's more about them. They forget the real reason why they became a therapist, which is to help people. Yeah. And if you can learn how to find the right people in enough pain, position yourself as the expert, 25 grand, even for a full 30-day month training, which I want to get to the details in a moment, is still cheap. No. Like you said, we've got to think outside of the initial outcome, which, let's say it's either a marriage thing, it's a stop smoking thing, it's an anxiety thing. If you list the outcomes of what's going to happen as a byproduct from that single session, you know, you could end up with 15 or 20 or 25 different things happening inside this person's life. And you're telling me you only want to charge $150 for that? That's ridiculous.
Absolutely
ridiculous.
Honestly. You know, if I want to get an air conditioner put in the house, it's $1,000.
There's no arguments. And if you're enough pain and you're hot enough, you'll pay it. Yeah, you'll pay it, no problems. So tell me about the program you're doing. You're doing something really, really cool. It's a 30-day transformation program. Take me through the details of that, because there will be people watching this who might be curious. So I do want to get your details on that. What's this all about?
So it's purely around men's health and depression. So, and that's probably based on where I sit. My history is I've had 9 mates that have taken their own lives. So I've been to 9 funerals I shouldn't have gone to. Wow. And because we didn't have the support, there's a lot of support for females. In my psychic work, I see a lot of females, and there's a lot of support for them. The biggest killer of men between 35 and 60 in Australia is suicide. It's not cancer, not heart attack. It's just not car accidents. It's taking their own lives. It's a real passion for mine. Like I to be, touched by it so intimately through some friends, and I've got the ability to be able to help with that. So I can talk from experience as well too. And so we help give them a program for 30 days to not, you're not going to be fixed within 30 days, but you're very much along the way of actually being a different person. So we put some plans in place on a daily basis so they'll come with me, they'll sit with me every week. So for 4 weeks, but we'll do daily things. So I'll set up a private Facebook group for them, just between me and them. And we'll go through, we'll do an audit of them. So we'll do a bit of a self-audit about where they are physically, mentally, spiritually, body-wise, and wealth. So the five parts. So the first part's a self-audit, and we'll say, okay, what's working, what's not working, what do you want to prove, what do you want to be in 30 days? And then we set up some, basically it's do the work. What belief systems are getting in the way of actually you doing this? And it's not for weak people. This is seriously hard work. It's, and that's why no one can do it. It's like, it's not there for tire kickers. It's not there for come and fix me, right? This is a lot of, we go to dark places, right? My website is about living your truth, right? And we find the truth for people. And I'm very much about embracing people's darkness, because I want you to go there and see it for what it is, and okay, we can work with it. So we actually work through mindset, their bodies, their diet, and put basically actions in, and then I'm their accountability part. I'm the one that says, have you done this or not? And then help them through their mindset about why they didn't do it, or some positive wins or not. So by the time they're 30 days in, they're well on the way to having a better relationship, a better relation with their body, better idea about health and wealth and all that kind of stuff. So it's gets them to a place where they're in a much better place. But I find that in reality, it comes back to in the 30 days, they're more in touch with themselves. They know who they are. They know what they want. They know what to fix. And that's a big thing. So, yeah. So it's not rocket science. It's basically an audit, list of things to do, things they don't want to do, and me telling them how to do it. Yeah. Well, not telling them, but me being accountable, but they do the work.
Yeah.
And I found that, listening to, so I've been taught in a very traditional hypnotherapy way, and I still use that, because there's some really good techniques in that. But being able to add like I said, I asked you, said, can I try some of the conversational hypnosis with some of my clients? Jesus, good.
Quick, isn't it?
It just, having to sit there, and they don't even realise they've been hypnotised, but they are. And I had last Friday was with a lady I'm a business coach, and, within 30 seconds she's crying, but she goes, are you hypnotising? I said, yeah.
Yes.
She goes, you're good, aren't you? It's just, we get into the core of the issues, and we keep shooting down excuse after excuse after excuse in a conscious way. And you know what? I actually found that she got it more because she was awake and her eyes were open.
Yeah.
She actually understood a lot more. And she was like, I barely talked through the whole thing. And the end of it, she just went, oh, okay, right. Yeah.
It's about empowering your clients. It's the same thing I really push you guys to do. I can give you the work. I can show you how to make the 30, 40, 50 grand a month. But like you said, you have to do the work. It's the same thing I present for my clients, to sit in front of 6,000 people, not really talk a lot. It empowers your client for the fact that when they leave their office, they get a self-control. They get that self-control back.
Yeah.
They're finally in control instead of the world controlling them. Yeah. And that alone is worth all the money in the world to most people, because that changes people.
Yeah. Look, there's some people who just, want to live in their own pity party too. There's some people who their story is their pain.
Yeah.
If you want to keep it in there, good luck. I can't,
Yeah. That's why I say, That's why I say to you guys, you pick and choose who you want to work with. Because it's not, it's all well and good, bring in the money, you get the lifestyle and all that. But if you hate the clients that are coming in, it'll just derail everything. Absolutely. So it's a real mixture of getting paid what you're worth, which is definitely in the high, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6Ks for total transformation, not session and hourly rate and that stuff.
Yeah.
To get the lifestyle back, which is why most therapists become entrepreneurs in the first place, but also to enjoy your clients coming in so much. I used to have a weird phenomena when my clients would sometimes come into the office that sometimes, if I remembered, I'd usually just too much on a high. I was just loving what I was doing. I wouldn't charge them right at the start of the session, and I'd actually forget to charge them afterwards. Actually ring them and say, "Oh man, I forgot to charge you for the session," because it was just so enjoyable being with these people. But when I used to let people come in that I didn't like, I couldn't wait for them to leave. Yeah. I despised it because it's not I didn't despise the person. I got sick of being in that pity thing, sitting there listening to their bullshit excuses. Now, I know as a therapist, we're supposed to, be able to work with people like this, but when you have the ability to pick and choose the people you want to have, it takes business to the next level. It takes enjoyment to the next level.
Yep.
Where most people on a Sunday are going, "Oh my God, I better go to work on Monday. This sucks." Or for the therapist thinking, "My God, I made no money last week. What the hell am I going to do this week?"
Yep.
You're sitting back going, "Awesome. I got a client tomorrow. I can't wait. I can't wait for Monday to come along." Big difference.
And it works very energetic as well too. It's very much on, if you got a client, they can tell if you're not on song. They can tell if you're, Jesus Christ. So they just this, and that's the great thing with this is that like I said before, your sessions just get so much better because you're present with your client because you're not even worrying about the cash part because you don't have to. You go, look, I get 15 clients this week because I've got this, and this, and trying to balance it out. That's again that was the reason why I stopped doing because it got to that stage and it was not everything I do sort of comes from the heart and it was coming from the head. So what this has allowed me to do is be really present with I didn't change a lot with what I was doing. It was just a few tweaks here and there and I'm on.
Yeah. And for those who've never had 15 or 20 clients in a row in a week, that's a lot of work. And it's not enjoyable. It's funny, I get therapists on the phone that will say to me, "Scott, I want to get 20, 30, 40 clients a week."
Don't do it.
Good luck. Don't do it. Don't do it. It'll burn you out quicker than you'll be able to enjoy the income and the success from it. And usually by Wednesday or Thursday, you're dreading it's now become a job. You're dreading your job now and you lose all that excitement. And not only you're not really bringing in any money to float your business, you can't even track your business because you don't know that side of things. Now you're hating your clients coming in. That's, the perfect recipe to just go, "You know what? It's too hard. I'm going back to be a banker. I'm going to go drive Uber or something like this."
Right. And then, I do know a lot of therapists who are alcoholics because they go home and they
can see why.
Why?
Yeah.
So
as soon as this becomes a job, you've lost it.
Correct. Yeah.
When this stays a passion, you can't wait till the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Neil, just like we said, you just got released the fourth week this week, hitting about 40 grand for the month. What's the goal for next month? What's the number for next month we're going for?
I'm probably going to try and maintain the 30 for the moment. I've got a couple of intuitive courses I'm doing, which I need to get up in the next 30 days, which is the other side of the passive income. So I've got a lot of stuff to do in Kajabi, get sorted and be going in that. So, but I've got a couple other things that I've put fingers into pies that haven't come to fruition yet. And that's the other thing with this course is I may not have the clients coming through yet, but the business opportunities through other areas are quite exciting, which I can't talk about.
It's fine. That's fine.
Because
so
when they come off,
yes,
they will be extremely, extremely transformational.
I definitely look forward to hearing what happens with those. So, closing words. How would you sum up your experience over the last 4 weeks? Sum it up for me.
Pretty much mind blowing. Yeah, and the biggest thing was just having someone who basically understood what I was talking about. Having somebody who really just, even though I wasn't talking to you, you're talking to the recording.
Mm.
You could actually, it's like you're talking to me personally, even though you're probably talking to thousands of people. But it was that there was that what comes across. It's very intimate in the course material, and it really hit home for me what was blocking me and giving me permission to go, no, this is okay to do this. And everybody else who doesn't think that, then that's their issue. And it was a bit of a watershed moment because it had been holding me back because I know that I was going to lose friendships over what I was doing, and that had been holding me back for a long time. But in the end, that I can't keep living somebody else's value systems. That's just if they've got a poverty mentality about you're going to charge $150 because it's spiritual or it's helping people, whatever. That's okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good luck to you. Nothing against you guys, but that if you want to do that's okay. But don't put your belief systems onto me. And if I want to be successful and this is what I charge, then that's okay. And it's not. And again, it's not about money in the end. It's just money is the byproduct of what happened. And I think that's what I learned is that it's money's energy. Money is an outcome. It's a value system of you provide this, you get paid for it, and I don't. Yeah, so
I can hear it in your voice. The first time we spoke on the phone, I could feel it.
Yeah,
because I've been there myself, and I know thousands of therapists like that. To now, there's a level of enjoyment where you've even dropped the idea that I wonder if this will work. I wonder if it won't work. There's always that in people's heads. Now it's just it's working and it's going to work. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, and so I haven't even advertised yet. This has been
organic.
One person to another person.
Yep.
And then the other content I have is anyway. It was sort of coming anyway, but it's once I start to put it out there, it's like, well, okay,
when it's ready to scale, we take it through the roof. But right now, the fact that you can grow a business organically and you're charging amounts that most therapists can only dream of in that 4 weeks. Plus the fact you're getting referrals on top of that and you're getting word of mouth. It's just crazy how it all seems so backwards in the way we look at it logically, but that's the way it works. That's the mind-blowing part of it, I think.
Yep. It comes back to, again, what is the client getting out of it? Real
transformation.
Results.
Yep. It's not hourly rates. It's not I'm going to charge you per session. It's what is the transformation you're going to get, and I'm going to price accordingly. Yep.
And and that was it's funny that there's that letter from the guy's daughter.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sums it all up.
I'm sure they would have paid $20,000 to have that, right? To have a connection with your daughter again.
That's
$150.
That's priceless. Now, I can probably guarantee you probably agree with me. There's no way you would have got those results at $150. You would have been misaligned. They would have been misaligned. There would have been no commitment. You wouldn't have got that.
No.
Hands down.
I mean, you got to put your skin in the game.
I agree. Well, Greg, this has been awesome, and this is going to be very motivational for a lot of the students listening to this and the other ones that are looking into this side of things. So I do appreciate your time. I know you're super busy, but man, we've got jump into week 4. Enjoy it. I'm going to see you over in the community, and we're going to probably get you on a call in the near future and see where things are tracking.
Done. Thanks, man.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Greg. You enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks, buddy. Thank you.